We are going to read a book about Noah Webster, Weaver of Words. It was written by Peggy Dietz Shea and illustrated by Monica Vacula. And there's the title page. You'll learn more about who Noah Webster was as we go along. Noah Webster is best known for writing American dictionaries, but that's not all he did. He became America's first best-selling author. He published America's first spelling and reading texts, in addition to texts about American history and geography. Noah helped create the laws for the country's free public education system. Noah Webster Jr. was born on October 16, 1758, into a family that loved learning and believed in serving in the pulpit. Noah's mother, Mercy, taught her son how to read, count, and play the flute. The 5 Webster children, Mercy, Abram, Jerusha, Noah, and Charles, grew up in a clapboard house in the West Division of Hartford, Connecticut. After a hard day's work, the Websters enjoyed music and literature. With a whale oil lamp flickering on the long dinner table, the family read from the King James Bible. By fireside, they recited poetry, stories, and sang psalms. These nightly performances prepared Noah to become a famous public speaker. In the mid-1770s, not all the colonies provided common or public schools for children. By state law, Massachusetts and Connecticut towns had to set up schools only if they had at least 50 households. If settlers lived several miles away or in rural areas, they had to fend for themselves. Children needed for farm work in the warm months went to school only in the winter. Common schools existed in different settings. Noah attended a little schoolhouse, a 2-mile trudge from his home. Puritan congregational churches and public meeting houses usually offered space. Noah recalled the dismal conditions of the typical schoolroom, heated only by a lone stove. The teacher and students had few supplies. They used goose quill pens and homemade ink from mashed nutshells, vinegar, and soot. No geography was studied, no history was read. No book for reading was used, he said. The teacher wrote the copies and gave the sums in arithmetic. Few or none of the pupils having any books as a guide. To practice spelling and penmanship, students copied Bible passages as the teacher dictated them. Watching hay grow excited Noah more than attending common school. The students spent only 1 hour on studies, he said, while 5 hours was spent in idleness, in cutting tables and benches to pieces, for firewood most likely, in carrying on pin lotteries, or perhaps in some roguish tricks. At 14, he wanted to study one-on-one with Hartford's new minister, Reverend Nathan Perkins. This Yale College graduate knew Latin and Greek, so Noah could learn to read ancient writings. After only 2 years, Reverend Perkins encouraged Noah to go to Yale. If Noah had expected to leave his hard work back on the farm, he would have guessed wrong. Noah and his classmates called their dormitory the brick prison. Students had to split their own wood, build their own fires, and pump their own water. They rose at 5:30 a.m., prayed, then listened to lectures until their 9 o'clock breakfast. Common food at noontime was cornmeal mash called Injun pudding, or a soup made of cabbage, turnip, potatoes, and dandelion greens. The boys actually liked their plain dinner of brown bread and milk better than anything else. The students' day was filled with 10 hours of instruction. In 1775, America's quest for independence from Great Britain became war. Younger Yale students, such as Noah, didn't have to fight. The war caused hard times for everyone. Men had to fight so they couldn't run their farms. That produced a shortage of food for humans and necessary animals such as cows and horses. The men couldn't run their shops either. Important goods such as footwear, clothing, blankets, and weapons became scarce. Battles and port blockades prevented trading. Even if goods did make it inland, wives had little money to buy them. Yale's faculty and students suffered too. If young men were fighting, that meant there was less tuition money to help run the school. Food ran out, firewood dwindled to the point where students had to burn straw and corn stalks. Noah joined his brother Charles and Abram in their father's Hartford militia. I marched, a volunteer, to the bank of the Hudson, ill able to bear the fatigues of a soldier and glad times to find a bed of straw in a barn or a shed. Noah eventually returned to Yale and graduated in September 1778 at the age of 19. He was eager to follow his father's advice to do the good in the world and be useful. The year 1781 saw many triumphs for Noah Webster. On April 3rd, having passed his law exams, Noah was admitted to the Connecticut bar. On June 1st in Sharon, Connecticut, he opened a private, innovative school which drew students, also from New Jersey and New York. And in September, Noah earned his master's from Yale by writing a dissertation about how to improve public education. Noah continued teaching. He also earned a bit more money by writing essays for newspapers. Noah's writings often attacked the shoddy shape of schooling. Noah loved teaching children and wanted to improve their education. However, it was hard without books and supplies for the students. American education needed reform. Noah wrote, "Children should learn in small class sizes, never more than 20 or 25 pupils under the charge of one instructor." Concerned about the students' health, Noah proposed better heating and comfortable chairs and desks. Teachers should reward good students instead of beating troubled ones. Girls may learn dance and needlework at home, but they should also attend school to learn math, science, and geography, the same subjects that the boys studied. The teacher had several reasons to try reform. English dictionaries did not include the speech of commoners. Noah believed that America could and should use their own language to break free totally from England. Noah got right to work on a federal language. Noah wanted words to be spelled the way they were pronounced in everyday usage and with the fewest letters possible. Perhaps most important, Noah created new ways to teach, spelling, reading, and pronunciation. His book tried to make grammar fun and easy to learn. Knowing how children loved rhymes, Noah made lists of words that sounded alike: bog, dog, fog, hog, jog, log. Later versions of his book even had illustrations. Noah's Speller was the first to make it accessible to beginning readers of any age. The reading section didn't stop at language arts. Every child in America should be acquainted with his own country. Noah believed. He became the first to publish American history and geography in children's textbooks. Noah spent a good deal of his own money to print his books. During his travels to promote copyright laws and books, Noah shared his educational and political ideas with important leaders. In particular, he spent much time with Benjamin Franklin. As early as 1749, Franklin had been promoting universal public education. Franklin became a great friend and mentor. Noah's ideas about education depended upon a government of the people. Noah wanted a hand in crafting the Constitution of the United States. He called for a strong central government that protects its people and their property. After the Constitution was drafted, Noah wrote essays and gave speeches urging states to adopt the Constitution. During a visit in Philadelphia earlier that year, Noah met Rebecca Greenfield. He and Rebecca married and moved to Hartford in 1789. They had their first of 8 children, Emily, in 1790. As the family grew, they often moved with Noah to his many workplaces. Over a 50-year career, Noah tirelessly worked at many different jobs, often several at once. Throughout it all, Noah continued writing educational books and essays about American unity. Noah became a lexicographer, a dictionary maker. New circumstances, new modes of life, new laws, new ideas of various kinds give rise to new words. Early dictionaries written by Americans were small and incomplete. Beginning in 1800, Noah took 6 years to compile and define 40,600 separate words for a compendious dictionary of the English language. Although Noah added many words, he chose not to include many vulgar words such as turd and fart that were in an older version. While putting the compendious together, Noah already knew he wanted to build another, grander dictionary. Noah devoted plenty of time, about 9 hours a day, for his language discoveries. He turned an upstairs room into a library which he opened to area scholars and students. But perhaps more important than his dictionaries was Webster's contribution to education. His ideas, including free schooling, small class sizes, no hitting, books for each child, American history and literature books, earned him nickname Schoolmaster to America. Whether rich or poor, male or female, child or adult, all Americans, Noah said, had the right to learn and the duty as citizens to learn. So he helped our schools be what they are today.